Welcome to Bleav In 76ers with your hosts, former 76ers point guard Eric Snow and two Sixers fanatics in Marcus and Teja Dash. Bleav In 76ers is presented by BetOnline.AG.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use promo code BLEAV for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Bleav In 76ers podcast. I'm Marcus Dash here with legendary 76ers point guard Eric Snow and my brother Teja Dash. Guys, All-Star break is over and we are back, baby. There was some, obviously, All-Star break. It's getting a lot of hoopla. Some people are saying they should get rid of it. People saying get rid of the slam dunk contest as well. I, for one, I know it's kind of lackadaisical, but I mean, it's still a good watch, at least a 3-point contest. And I like the Steph Curry matchup with the Sabrina girl from the WNBA. That was pretty sweet. I hope maybe they'll probably do more of that, they said, going forward. But one topic that came from All-Star weekend had nothing to do with the All-Star game was Allen Iverson did a sit down with Shaquille O'Neal. And Eric, I want to ask you this question. Allen, on that podcast with Shaq, he said that if he played in modern day NBA, he'd average 43 points. Do you agree with that statement from AI? Do you think he would average 43 in this modern day NBA?
He has the endurance for it. I mean, that's what I do know. He has the endurance to do it. Very efficient at the free throw line, so he would come close. I mean, he would definitely come close. I think more than anything, not because of necessarily the defense, it was just more of the pace. Way more shot attempts with the pace that the guys play with right now, and then his ability to get fouled. I just think his ability to get fouled and the pace is really what could be the difference from him, his average and what he could possibly average. So I wouldn't put it past him because of those two things on top of just him being him.
Yeah, and I think with the fouling,
he probably
shoots.
He would shoot almost 20 free throws a game. He could shoot close to 20 free throws a game.
Yep. That's what I think would set it all aside, is that he would go to the free throw line so much. Like take the guard that goes the most, and like add like 6 to that number.
Yeah.
It's no guy playing right now. Excuse me. There's no guy playing right now that's like him. That plays like him. With especially that size, that frame. So with the sensitive touch and contact rules, that contact on a guy like, take Kyrie, for instance. Kyrie's frame he's bigger. I mean, I don't know his weight, but I would imagine Kyrie's 20, 25 pounds heavier than AI. So everything would look like
AI's listed weight or AI's real weight?
Well, his listed weight is higher than his real weight.
Yeah. Kyrie's listed at 195.
Yeah, like I said, that's what I said. Like 25 plus pounds.
That's 30 just off list weight. So
yes.
if you take his real
list,
weight,
that's 30 off listed. Yes.
So he's probably around like 40 off real weight then. It's a lot.
So that's what I'm saying. Kyrie's taller too, so I mean he's a bigger guy. But I'm just saying, like, Kyrie's not considered a bigger, muscular player. He's still considered Steph Curry is still considered like smaller guards. On on the smaller side of the league than the average or bigger side. So when that's how I see it could happen.
Yeah. Well, it was they were talking about this topic on First Take earlier, and Brian Windhorst. Stephen A. said yes, he could do it. Perkins said yes, he could do it. And Brian Windhorst said that the modern day NBA is getting away from volume scores, and he didn't think that AI would be able to put up as many shots, and he was also inefficient compared to he'd be inefficient if you placed him in modern day NBA as far as his efficiency wouldn't be as high, and he would get less minutes because of that.
Who said this?
Brian Windhorst.
Brian? Yeah.
Stephen A. and Perkins looked at him like he was crazy.
Brian's opinion, I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what I'm saying. When people say people's efficiency, that's when you're looking at the efficiency of the past versus the efficiency now. I watch games and I see more guys get wide open layups now than ever. So the efficiency, that's what I'm saying. Like when you talk about somebody wouldn't be as efficient, so I don't know how you can say that because it's less rim protection, I may say. Less rim protection with bigger guys at the rim. So I would see, and the one thing that's really, in my opinion, that's really underrated in AI's game is his mid-range game. And as you see, and I know I've seen this statistic. Somebody sent it to me, one of my research guys, where the NBA 3-point temp and all that stuff everything's going down in the league. Because a lot of basically the article was about because a lot of the wrong people are shooting threes. So I just found it interesting. But the one thing that that teams that win all have guys that can make mid-range shots.
Yep.
And that's where I think that with AI's efficiency with the mid-range, his endurance to be able to play at a high level for a long time in the game, and his ability to get to the free throw line is how I think he can score with the best of them that have ever played. And I think that he's one of those guys whose talent and toughness can translate to whatever area he's playing in.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that quote and everyone was talking about it. I was like, we got to ask the guy who was front row seat for all this stuff. We got to ask Eric about all this.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously the All-Star break is over now. And last night we began All-Star break, the post All-Star break, in not such good fashion. We have a pretty difficult schedule as it is, and we thought last night was something we could probably pull out, but we didn't. Lost to the Knicks. Now we have the Cavs, Bucks, and Celtics, and the Hornets. But the Hornets, they've won 4 straight. They play the Warriors tonight, so we'll see how that goes. And then we're at Dallas. So we have the 9th hardest remaining schedule in the NBA. But there was some solid news. Embiid is rumored to be back towards the end of March, early April. So that is a positive sign. But my question to you guys is, as we see these other teams, the Cavs, the Knicks, all these other teams around us starting to win, what seed would you guys be happy with to end this year? Where would you say, okay, I'm fine with that seed? If based on everything that's going on right now, what seed are you eyeing right now, realistically?
Anything above 7.
So not avoiding the
That's
play-in
where
game.
I'm at right now.
You don't want that extra game.
Avoiding the play-in game. I don't want
one more
game and
that
you're out.
Embiid get warmed up.
I'm just saying. Because it's going to be one game against a team that is that most likely is not going to be going, that haven't been going down. They've been going up. Since maybe early part of the season. And we would have been going down. So, And we never know. Like if Joel, they say the end of March, early April. So you saying Joel, if he's playing, that's what, a week or two? And then we got a play-in game? No, I'm good. 6 and above.
Are there any opponents?
6 never looked so good until now. 6 never looked so good until now.
I know. Are there any opponents that you'd want to avoid if, like, it came down to the last game of the season and we're like, okay, we either go 7 and we play this opponent or 6 and that opponent? Would you do that or no? No.
I think avoiding the play-in is bigger than who you're playing.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, who needs one extra game anyway?
So if you're the play-in, that means you're playing 1 or 2 extra games, and you're probably going to play Boston if you're 8, and possibly Milwaukee if you're 7.
Milwaukee, Cleveland, yeah.
And that will be the first round. I mean, I think what Cleveland's 2 right now, and Milwaukee's is on the losing, pretty much lost majority of their games, and they're still right behind.
Yeah, they're still pretty close.
So I believe that they'll end up at 2.
I'd be happy with the 6 seed. 1, we'd avoided playing the game. I would hope we're playing either the Cavs or Knicks rather than the Bucks, even though the Bucks are struggling. But another major upside of the 6 is that you'd avoid playing Boston to the Eastern Conference Finals. So you'd avoid the 1 until the last round. We'd have to play them. I think the Pacers pass us pretty soon. In the next week or two, they'll pass us. The rest of the East is pretty inconsistent, though. So behind us, we'd have to worry about the Magic and then the Heat. The Magic, I'm not as worried about. The Heat could string together some wins and pass us, but they're kind of having their own injury problems and lineup issues. And they usually kind of just want to get healthy, stay healthy for the playoffs. So they at least last year, they didn't really prioritize trying to win as many games in the regular season. So as long as we pretty much stay above Miami and Orlando, because there's a big drop off after them, I'm not worried about those teams. So Orlando and Miami, if we stay above them, we can keep 6. Slipping to 7, if we won the play-in game, we'd also still avoid the number 1 seed till the end, because I think the winner of the 2-7 plays the winner of the 3-6. But I 1 extra game, when you're already trying to get MB to play less than 1 extra game that he has to try and probably play most of the game is not good. So, yeah, 6 seed. I never thought I'd be saying that.
Would you rather play Milwaukee than Cleveland?
No. Me?
Yeah, either one of you guys, yeah.
No.
Even if they're struggling.
Because I think even with them struggling, they still have, out of all those players combined on both teams, and the best 2 players out of all those players happen to be on the same team. There's no way I would go want to play the series against them. If that's much between the 2. No. I'll play them when we have to play them. Team like that, you prefer to play second, 3rd round.
But
I think if we can get Cleveland, we can get Joel back, I'll feel a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Cleveland's my second team, but we know who's number 1. And
yeah,
I don't think with a Joel playing that they can beat them. But like I said, Cleveland is playing well and they play hard and they defend. They got good size, but I'm avoiding those 2 guys. In the new season, I'm good.
But if Cleveland were 2 and Milwaukee were 3, you'd still keep the 3 seed and not move down to the 7, right?
No, yeah, I'm not going 6. Being 6 is the priority over the play.
Okay. Okay, so you would choose six,
not
six
avoiding
versus Milwaukee.
Play-in is seed over opponent. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I would choose the
right.
6 seed, avoiding the play-in, and because you good at that play-in, and all of a sudden you got to play Miami, and you play Orlando, and never know with them young boys, and then you got to play Miami for the final game. Remember, Miami Heat made it to the finals last year, and Atlanta Hawks almost beat them in the play-in game.
Yeah.
People forget that. Or it's either Atlanta or Chicago. Somebody almost beat them. Came down to the end. I can't remember which team it was, but it was one of those two teams. Almost beat them in the play-in game.
Yeah, wasn't that the DeRozan daughter screaming game? Her daughter was like screaming really loud, and the guy missed the free throws. You guys don't remember?
Not sure. I don't remember. I do remember. No, I don't. I don't remember.
Yeah, they lost.
I do remember.
Yeah, they lost their first playing game to Atlanta, and then they played Chicago in the next round.
Okay.
And they beat them.
That's what it was. So they lost their playing game. That's what I'm saying. They lost at home, right? Did Atlanta beat them at home?
Yeah, it was in Miami.
And that's how they ended up playing Milwaukee in the first round.
Yeah.
So then you got one game.
It worked out for them, though.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm good. Okay.
So seeding's more important than opponent.
To me.
All right. I think Teja, you as well. You're seeding over opponent.
I mean, you guys can feel differently about that. I'm just saying for me.
Well,
I'm avoiding the play. I don't.
Seeding is one thing, though. Yeah, seeding. No, I don't really care as much about seeding. Avoiding the play-in is a little different, though. Like seeding, I can negotiate with that. But when your seed affects you having to play an extra game, I don't love that. No, I don't love that at all. And that can mean 2 extra games for Joel.
Yeah.
We're already trying to limit how much he plays before the playoffs, right? So I don't think that's a smart idea.
Yeah, just avoid the play-in at any cost.
Yeah. That's why my first answer was 6. I mean, 7 won't be the end of the world, especially if we get to play like an inferior, not really inferior opponent, but someone we like to play more. But if we can avoid an extra game, I definitely want to. Yeah.
So going back to kind of last night, this is something that's been kind of flooding the social media in the Sixers world. Is Tobias Harris. And when we needed him to step up last night, he wasn't really there for us. And since Joel's injury, we are 2-4 when Tobias plays. And he scored more than 18 points twice in the 6 games without Joel when Tobias has played. Obviously, Tobias has been a hot topic on the show for as many years we've been doing the show. But come playoff time, whenever we have a fully healthy squad, how short of the leash should it be? How short should the leash be for Tobias Harris when it comes to playoffs with everybody healthy?
This one's tough for me because I think that with Joel out, like we talked a lot about Joel going out and how Tobias got plays, touches, all of that. In some ways, it's going the other way since Buddy Hield is around. Maxey plays differently when Joel doesn't play.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a little bit the last game that they played Maxey with Kyle, which tells me that Maxey's going to score more or shoot more. So I don't. Whereas I think, yes, Tobias has to do more. I don't think we've helped him either. Tobias, now's your opportunity to kind of make it happen with Joel out. I did say in our last few sessions that it has to be a pointed effort to get him the basketball and get him plays and get him in position to score. I'm not certain that that's being done. That's where I'm at with it.
Even when Joel's out.
I don't think it's happening enough for the demands and the expectations to be there for him. I think it should have been increased and obvious with Joel out. And I don't think it's either. Now, Tobias could be more assertive also. And be more aggressive and more assertive to kind of put pressure on them to do it. Teammates and staff. So I don't think that's happening either. So it's kind of both. But we've said forever that Tobias is the type of guy that needs plays, needs sets, needs calls, need the ball in a certain spot.
Yep.
And I do not see that increase, and I don't see it enough to meet the expectations that are coming right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he shot more when Joel played with him.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has been in and out of the lineup, right? So he's been sick.
But the team does play differently without Joel. They play differently without Joel. They play a little more open, free, and that's not necessarily, you really got to call plays and sets for him when you play like that.
I know, but yeah, Joel's missed so much time in Tobias's Sixer career. He should be used to it by now, with and without Joel, Yeah. So if we're fully healthy and Tobias is struggling in the playoffs, I would rather just play on matchup and how they're playing at the time. I mean, it's unfortunate. We've been saying the same thing for so long, and I don't know what Tobias's future is with us. I don't know if he's going to head out. If this is a relationship that's even, they're going to need to salvage afterwards. Because I mean, if they do bench him in the playoffs in key minutes, because Batum's playing well, Covington's got a hot hand for whatever reason. Oubre, we need the offense from Oubre. He's not going to like it, right? So, I don't know. It sucks because it just seems like whenever we need him, more often than not, he doesn't show up. And it's when we need him the most too, on top of it all. So like when Joel's out, we need him even extra now. And that's when we're like really, like you said, we're really focused on him when Joel's out. It's like, okay, we're taking this amount of points and rebounds, and like you need to have some, you need to have some. And then when you're looking at that, when you look at a box score in a non-Joel game, you're looking right at Maxey and you're looking right at Tobias' stats and be like, okay, what did you do to help? What did you do to help? And then everyone else, just fills in as needed. But like you're looking at those two guys first, and yeah, I mean, it's not there for him a lot of times. Nurse did say that Tobias never got into a rhythm, and he said he's a rhythm guy. So if he doesn't get in there, it's not there that night. So he said he'll be better against the Cavs. And since I'm being hard on him,
I know he is.
Yeah, since I'm being hard on him, I think he'll absolutely bounce back against the Cavs, because every time I shit on him a little bit, he kills it the next game and scores like 25, and I'm like, oh, there it is. Yeah, he must have heard me, I guess. So happens every time.
Yeah. Big contingency of the fan base wants crumble cookies, wants free crumble cookies because of the whole, he's staying on the team and him not looking good this year. So everyone's trying to claim their crumble cookie, their orders right now based on last night's performance.
What made it even harder against the Knicks is that those two guys that we could have gotten for Tobias from Detroit, the deadline, killed it against us. Mm-hmm. Like I think both guys individually outscored Tobias. I mean, Bogdanovich gave you last night exactly what we just want Tobias to do. 12 shots, 6 threes. I mean, I think he went like 70 or 80% from 3-point land yesterday. So it's exactly what we would want with him. So that hurt a little more even last night.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that aspect of it, but yeah, they had 5 in the first half. Yeah.
Oh, I noticed it during the game.
When he couldn't miss, it's like, yeah, come on, Tobias. And it's funny because Tobias knows that. He was almost traded for those guys. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, but the thing is, they also play differently. I mean, they're playing differently. Tobias not getting the ball, just jacking threes. Like, them guys it's how they play and what they're expected to do are different. Now we'll see what they do when the 2 starters for the Knicks come back. I think it'll be a little different.
Yeah. I was a little shocked last night with the way that whole thing went down in that game. Just kind of rough. We made a little push though in the third quarter, which looked nice for a second, and then they pushed it back up again. All right, so we have 2 games this weekend. Before next show, we have 2 games, and tonight we have a back-to-back against Eric's number 2 squad, the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Cleveland will be traveling to Philadelphia tonight. They played Orlando last night, so they're coming off a back-to-back as well, and they lost. Sixers are right now currently a 4.5-point underdog against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This game will be on ESPN tonight. Who do you guys have in this game tonight against the Cavaliers?
Well, I want to say I hope we win. I have us covering. Hopefully that turns into a win.
Yeah, I'm looking at their injury report. They have no one on their injury report tonight.
Can't say I'm as confident. Yeah, I mean, I think them losing to Orlando that first game kind of like made it a little for me because I was like, okay, we'll both have back-to-backs. They'll beat Orlando, come in and kind of we'll be able to definitely maybe pull away late. Now I don't know. Both teams are, don't want to start to, have to break 0-2. So it's gonna be a tough one. So I'll go ahead and say we'll cover and we'll win it. So I'll go there, but I'm not feeling good with where we are right now.
Yeah. Our last win came against Cleveland. I think we were like a 7-point underdog in that game.
That was at Cleveland, right?
At Cleveland, yeah. Buddy Hield had a really big game. We won by 2.
And that was no Tobias, I think?
Yeah. Especially.
Yeah, no Tobias.
You mentioned that.
Yeah. Yeah, no Tobias and no Batum in that game.
Yeah, they'll have a different focus now. They'll have a different focus playing us without Joel now.
And no Lowry, but Melton's back, right? He's probable tonight.
Melton's probable. Batum is a game time decision, and Lowry is out.
Okay. Are we still 3.5 or 4.5?
4.5.
I'm gonna go us to win. I think we'll win this game. Yeah, I think it's considering how bad we played. You'd have the revenge aspect for Cleveland. And they're just playing so much better and they're healthy. I don't know why. I think the spread should be higher, in my opinion. But it started like 3.5 or 4.
Yeah, it was yeah.
That's kind of low, in my opinion. And we just played last night and didn't play well last night. So yeah, I think we win.
Yeah, I think it started off low because Mitchell was sick, and I don't think he played last night.
Yeah,
but he's active today, so the line went from like 2.5 to 4.5 when Mitchell said he was going to play. So
even without Mitchell,
yeah.
Should be a pretty easy win. It should be an easier win for them even without him.
So both you guys are picking the Sixers to cover tonight.
Yeah.
There you go. I was not expecting that. And then Sunday, final topic here. We will be hosting our guy Doc Rivers and Patrick Beverley in Philadelphia at 1:00 on ABC. Who do you guys have in that game on Sunday with the Doc return game?
I'll say we lose that one, but it'll be a competitive game. People don't bash Doc so much. It's only right for him to win.
I know. You know it's going to happen against us. You know it.
Yeah, exactly. Every time it's just like when like that. So,
mm-hmm.
Even though they're not playing well, I think with the extra incentive, something it won't go our way. So I'll pick that one. No. Tonight, yes.
They got a tough schedule. They're at Minnesota tonight, and then they're traveling to Philadelphia on Sunday. So I mean, that a lot of teams are playing have pretty tough schedules right now. Everyone's kind of like going at the good teams right now. So
because, like I told you all, at the end of the year, national television games, more TV games and stuff after football's over.
Yeah.
Now that's what I said. You had to get some cushion during the season, before the break. But now it's a lot of people jockeying for these positions, so every game's gonna be a tough one now.
Mm-hmm. Tej, where do you stand?
I think Milwaukee wins, but it'll be close. I think it'll be a close game. I don't know. There's no spread, obviously, for it, right? Because I don't even know who's going to play in that game. Yeah, I think it'll come down to the fourth quarter, though. I think it'll be close. I just think they'll win in the end. I just think it'll be, one of those. Of course, Doc wins it. I think Doc had a pretty good record against the Clippers for us, too, even when he left. After he left them, he had a pretty good record for us. He's good against his former teams.
Yeah, it's an ABC game too, so I wonder if Redick's going to be on the call for that game with all the stuff that's going on. It would actually make sense, really, that him saying that this week, and then he's calling the game on that Sunday with two of his former coach and former team. Yeah, there's something weird, shady about all that. That whole thing seems so manufactured. That entire kind of back and forth. At first, I was like, this is interesting, and then now it's like, okay, I think I don't know. I think it's an ESPN conspiracy. They're just trying to drum up stuff.
I think it stinks.
What do you think about that, Eric, about the whole Doc, JJ Redick, Patrick Beverley stuff? Do you think it's kind of drummed up a little bit by ESPN, kind of just trying to create something here with it being a slow sports week?
I mean, of course, they want people to feed into that stuff. I don't understand why someone says for Doc to say what his reality is and how he feels about something. Why does someone have to say you tired of hearing what he has to say? I don't understand. Like, JJ can feel however he feels about him. I just don't understand why it was necessary. If Doc feels that way, he feels that way. Like, is he wrong for feeling the way he feels just because you? So why we criticize Pat for responding to JJ, and JJ responded to Doc, and Doc wasn't talking to JJ. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he was talking to him. So that's the part that it's just people jumping on what somebody's quote or comments, and then it becomes criticism of what someone says. He was asked a question, he was doing the show, and he said what he said. So if you don't like it, you just don't like it. I just don't, for a guy to why then this is why people don't say anything. Like, he says something, and all of a sudden he's criticized for what his reality is. You don't have to then make it sort of personal. Then, of course, someone's going to say something to you, and that's just where all the back and forth comes from.
Mm-hmm.
It went from they criticizing Doc and Pat criticizing JJ about Doc to JJ versus Pat.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just I don't. I mean, yeah, I just don't get the fact that if Doc wants to say whatever he has to say, let him say whatever he has to say. That's on him. If you have something about Doc, then just say something about Doc. People have been doing it without Doc saying anything anyway.
That's true.
Why when he say something, there got to be a problem when people have just been criticizing him forever. But now when he says something, it's a problem for him to say something. When people have just been just free fall saying whatever they had to say about him.
Yeah.
Like,
No
stay
need,
in your place,
no
don't
need.
talk. Like, that's the part I don't like. Yeah, I don't like that. Like, stay in your place, don't talk. Who are you to say something? Like, come on, man. It's just not necessary. But that's what that TV stuff is all about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now that's what they're drumming up interest and conversation. So it's JJ's opinion, but Doc said, but Doc didn't say anything about JJ. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Aside from all the criticism on, taking responsibility and accountability, I just thought it was weird timing. I just thought it's weird to go on a show and say that they shouldn't have hired me as their head coach. That was just weird to me. That's all. I was like, man, it's just kind of strange. You're in that building with them, and like you're saying, like, oh yeah, I told them not to. I told them you probably shouldn't be doing this, but they did it anyway. It's like that's something you almost say like years later when like you don't have that job anymore. Not like mid-season when you're coaching for that team. That was the only thing that was weird to me. But whatever.
Well, I mean, you can say it if you have a sense of security that no matter what.
Oh yeah,
you can say it.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's where he's at.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, because they can't, he has one of the best job securities right now for them.
But that's his reality, though.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with it or not, that's his reality. You can not like him, but that's how he sees it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then full circle, JJ Redick will be calling the game, probably calling the game with Doc against his old team in Philadelphia on Sunday, which at that point, it's like, okay, this is all manufactured ESPN stuff to drum up interest with JJ Redick covering the Pat Bev and Doc game. But I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. I think he's the A team on ESPN now. With
JJ got to be, yeah, but JJ got to be professional too. I mean, you can't just.
For sure.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can say what you got to say, but Mark and Van Gundy aren't there anymore, and I'm not sure how much the league really liked them going at the league. Because in the NBA are supposed to be partners, so the product is supposed to be good for everybody.
Yeah,
so just try to remember that.
It'll be interesting to see the how that goes on Sunday when they all see each other in Philadelphia in the city of brotherly love. Maybe they'll make up and shake hands and everything. All right, guys. Well, that does it for us. We'll see you guys Tuesday, and hopefully we go sweep.
Make up for what? What they making up for?
Making up for all this social media behavior that they got.
Saying, what are they making up for?
You mean why? What you mean? Are you asking why would they make up?
Who's making up? Pat and JJ?
Pat and JJ, yeah.
Who's making up is what you're saying. Like which
I'm saying Redick
gonna make up for.
I don't know, maybe they were teammates with each other, bad blood being thrown out on social media. Maybe, like they can handle it like one-on-one via text instead of on social media, maybe, got out of hand, arguing over social media. I don't know.
What do you want, a fist bump during the game? That's what.
Yeah, like a dab each other up kind of thing or something like that. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, because when things get public,
you don't think they could have did that after the first message?
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, you don't think they could have done that after the first message?
Yep.
When Pat said something, then JJ could have been like, "Hey, man, just what they call it, DM me, so when we can have this conversation."
Yeah.
It was a point that You know, you had a chance to make it private.
Yeah. The weird
So why
thing
now
was
we got to have a private conversation.
Yeah. Richard Jefferson was doing a podcast with Patrick Beverly at the same time this was going on, and that's JJ Redick's broadcast partner. And he was texting Richard Jefferson while he was doing an interview with Pat Bev at the same time, which is also another weird thing in that whole.
Yeah. Manufactured.
Yeah. But yeah, there was definitely avenues where they could have talked offline instead of doing it on social media, but we'll see. All right, guys. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the games this weekend, and we'll see you guys Tuesday to hopefully debrief a 2-0 stretch coming.
All right,
All right,
take
guys.
it easy.
See you,
Later
fellas.
on.